welcome. On this episode of Abby Normal Garage, well, this is our Deadbolt 1/10 scale SEX10. It's honestly been sitting in the garage for years unused. It has a decent number of modifications to it. It's got the SEX10-2 style axles. It's got all metal links. It's got the 55 tooth motor, waterproof electronics, waterproof servo, upgraded shocks with a lift kit. I've got brass weights behind all the wheels, and I actually have lead weights inside the tires. Like I said, we haven't used it for years. One of the biggest issues we have with it is at the time they didn't make a good track bar. This bar right here. And we took this thing crawling down in Florida, and every time you got it up on something, it folded it in half. So looks like there's a bunch more options now. So we're going to probably go ahead and fix that. But anyway, we decided to dig it out to go play in the snow. Now these aren't known for speed, they're known for crawling. So just like that, no problem. Now its baby brother couldn't get over this. Let's see if it'll do it. In a moment of complete failure, it appears that the four-wheel drive's not working. So let's take it in the shop and see what's going on. It almost seems like the pin that goes through the drive shaft is broken. Maybe it's an easy fix. Let's go ahead and pull that out and see. Well, that pin's not broke, so I guess we need to take the transmission apart and see what's going on. I had no plans of making this an Abby Normal Garage episode, but I guess we're going to pull the transmission out real quick, see if we can fix it. We'll start by removing these 4 screws, I think. Gosh, it's been so long since I worked on this. Yep, it's those screws. Okay. Alright, we have liberated the transmission from the vehicle. Yeah, this front drive shaft's not grabbing at all. Okay, well, let's go ahead and set the truck off to the side. Alright, we'll pull off this back drive shaft now. It's been so long since I worked on this thing. This might be why it was parked. You never know. Let's get the slipper clutch off first. Like so. Motor plate. Alright, it's got these 3 spacers. Let's not lose those either. Three long screws. Oh, carnage. What in the world? Looks like it's held together with screws. Ring gear. Okay. So it looks like just the screws backed out, but it looks like it tore up some of the gears too. Yeah, it don't look good. Let's see here. Well, I can tell you what we're going to do. We're going to clean it up, put it back together so we can play with our car today. I wonder how long this thing didn't have 4-wheel drive. You can see where the screws backing out or wearing out the casing. And that's where all these plastic shavings are coming from. But the gears themselves don't look too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. put it back together and call it good. I think it'll be okay. We might get to play with our car after all. For the first time in like 5 years. This is old grease. I think it mixed with this plastic and got petrified. So we're going to go ahead and get all this cleaned up. We'll bring you back. We're back. First we're going to put this ring gear back on. These don't have a center differential. Like I said, these are off-road rigs. They're made to be locked up 100% of the time. Let's see. Okay, I think that's lined up. So we'll go ahead and get this started gently. Now that that's back together, we got our two transmission casings. It's very obvious which way this goes in here. Obviously, the side with the groove cut in it is the side with the screws. So we'll go ahead and set this back in there, like that. We'll put our idler gear back in, like that. And our input shaft sets down into that bearing, like so. Very simple transmission. If only our tractors could be that simple sometimes. I'm going to go ahead and put some grease in it because it's pretty dry. That reminds me of the Lucas oil things that you used to see at the auto parts stores. Okay, that looks like a pretty good amount. Okay, now we'll set our other transmission half back on. Like so. Nice. Now this is the original SCX-10 transmission. I want to say the SCX-10-2 had a completely different transmission. And I think the SCX-10-3 has a 2-speed transmission, which we would love to have. This truck only goes about 5 miles an hour. Okay, that still turns freely. Slide that on. We'll go ahead and put our slipper clutch back on. Like so. Spring. And the nut. I was able to take this out with my hand, so obviously it wasn't set tight. I typically set it by eye. Okay, that's good. Now we'll put our output shaft hubs back on. These are the stock plastic ones. They make metal ones. I'm actually surprised I've never had an issue with them. In all bluntness, these crawlers are actually pretty bulletproof cars. I mean, compared to all my other stuff, like I've got cars that go 50, 60 miles an hour and they're constantly braking, whereas this thing, and nowadays there's more aftermarket support than ever for these crawlers. So, I mean, if you're... Now, when you're putting screws in plastic, it's always a good idea to turn them backwards until you feel them drop. Before screwing them in, that helps align the threads. Because if not, every single time it'll be cutting new threads. For the first test, we're going to try to make it out the door. It's so much better with four-wheel drive. Let's see if we can get over this mountain of snow. Call to cut the tow truck. If it'll do it, but let's see if we can try to climb the Brandon. Nope, we can't climb the Brandon. Yeah, for some reason I thought this would be cool. Can we get back in the garage? Who knows? I don't know. Awesome. That's cool. We're going to go ahead and blow the snow off with the air compressor, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. Well, after having mediocre fun with our crawler yesterday, we decided to get our two-wheel drive buggy out with sand paddle tires to see what it does. The screws fell out of the way. So I found out you got to let off the throttle to steer because it keeps trying to push the front end up in the air. There you go. Yeah, this is a little bit more exciting than the crawler, I'd say. Ah, tree. Yeah! Everything still works, so that's good. Well, we're going to go ahead and blow this Bandit off, and we'll be right back. Well, if you'd like to see more RC content on Abby Normal Garage, let us know in the comments below. As you can see, Abby would prefer that you don't. Well, anyway, don't be afraid to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next episode of Abby Normal Garage.